Hello, everybody, and welcome back to an extra special bonus episode of From BA to Broadway. You know who it is. It's me. It's Mr. Brennan Stefanik. And your general programming reminders, just a brief overview. Every Monday we are here with the main episode. Every Friday we are here with the mini-sodes. But folks, today I have with me for the very first time on the main pod, it's Mr. Danny Saulle.
This is being released as a main episode?
It sure is.
Well, you mean a side episode. The Friday ones are the main episodes, right?
Sure. But surprise.
Oh my God.
Welcome. Danny, you're here.
Is that why you gave me the comfy chair? Usually,
and the champagne.
You make me sit on the floor when we record these.
Yeah. I bring in a pile of bricks for you to sit on. But yeah, you get the comfy chair, you get your champagne.
Oh my God.
The butler's going to be bringing in a full steak dinner momentarily.
Is this how you treat your guests?
Of course. Yeah.
I gotta get a main spot in here.
Well, this is the only one, so savor every moment. Danny, who the heck are you and what do you do?
Oh, what a question. I'm a mover. I'm a thinker. I'm a
shaker and a quaker.
I'm a friend.
You're a friend. You're a performer.
I'm a performer.
You're a co-host.
I'm a co-host.
Yeah.
But today, I'm a guest.
Yes, today you are our guest.
Yeah, I'm also your roommate. So
that's so true.
I'm an easy get, guys.
Boom. Danny.
You know he's desperate when I'm on the main episode.
This was supposed to be special. This was supposed to be special and you're ruining it.
It's so special.
Oh, Danny.
So special.
How do we know each other?
I think sometimes you come and knock on my bedroom door and say, do you want to watch TV?
That's exactly right.
That's how we know each other.
And did you go to school for theater?
I did. I went to NYU. I have a BFA in drama, concentration in musical theater.
Oh, now that that's out of the way.
What show are we talking about today?
Folks, usually we're bringing you lessons and wisdom and knowledge, but today we are bringing you fandom. We are bringing you appreciation. We are, of course... Oh my God.
What if I just made you sit here and listen to the entire overture?
I'm like, should I put it in for real in post? No. Folks, we're here to talk about the Wicked movie. That is right.
Yeah, we are.
Wicked movie, part 1. I liked it.
All right, that was a good talk.
Yeah,
thank you guys for listening. You can follow me at
I would say I enjoyed it. I would say
what's your body count?
Oh God. Let's work backwards. Okay, so so far I've only seen it 2 times still.
Oh my God.
I know I need to get back. I've been a busy boy as of late.
I'm on 3. We haven't seen it together.
No.
Wow.
Let's do that.
We've seen it apart.
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah. I feel like we should just start from the top.
I guess.
Let's start from the very top. We enter on a nice little overview of...
Oh, we're doing like a shot-by-shot description of the...
Well, I think the imagery of it all is like fun to like...
You know what I'm imagining for this episode? This is a tangent. Do you watch Parks and Rec?
Yes.
Do you know the episode where he's like, I want to bury the Twilight series in the thing? And he's like, so to convince you, I'm going to go frame by frame.
Yeah.
First movie we open. That's what I'm imagining us doing right now. And it's like a 6-hour-long episode.
Wow.
Okay.
We open on Munchkinland. We see Munchkinland with our very own eyes in the format of the Wicked movie.
Look, it is healing.
Gorgeous.
I think it was healing for a lot of people.
My God.
I really love that they did the overture.
Yeah.
I think it never cut an overture.
They couldn't have done it without it.
There's something so, I don't know. I think maybe it's just the hit of the drums. Like that Wicked overture starts and
haunting.
You were just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like you're just maybe it's, I don't know if it's the nostalgia or the music itself, but it just like hits you
for sure.
I literally had chills from the first freaking note.
100%.
Just like boom, 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 and you're like.
This one in particular too is like so grandiose, and also like if you're going in and all your only concept of what you're about to watch is The Wizard of Oz, it is a bold departure. You know,
Yeah.
it is so it's haunting. It's
Mhm.
beautiful. It's a little eerie. It's a little spooky.
Yeah.
And
I'm also gonna say right now, I mean, I assume everyone's seen it, but if you haven't, we're just like gonna do all spoilers. So
oh my god, yes.
if you don't want to know anything about the movie, don't listen to this episode.
yes, should we avoid
Um,
spoilers for
No,
the whole thing?
no. If we're gonna dissect the movie, we gotta talk about the movie.
Okay.
Why?
No, I just mean like what would be happening in part 2.
Look, the book came out in the 90s. We're
I
talking
feel like-
about it.
I feel like we can avoid it.
Maybe. I
Okay.
make no promises. But also,
We'll
you
see.
edit this thing so you can bleep me out.
That's so true. Yeah, so we open, we have our beginning number in Munchkin Land. It's beautiful. It is gorgeous. It is colorful.
Mm-hmm.
And then our queen comes down in her pink bubble.
I can't even comprehend the scope of John Chu's imagination.
No.
I mean, first of all the sets were built.
Yeah.
There's like, I mean, there is CGI obviously, but
Of
like,
course,
it's not like a Marvel movie where they were
Yeah.
just like in front of a green screen for 3 hours.
And this was what was leaked too. This is what we saw like way back when.
It is really just stunning.
Yeah.
I think all the choices are just really smart. Like even just down to like how they did the bubble. I was like, yeah.
Oh my
this
god.
was a great choice.
Yes, I think it was a
great
very
choice.
I mean, it makes sense for the story, yes, but also what a great homage to the stage production with its mechanical elements, you know?
And I it felt like similar to what I felt when I saw Tick Tick Boom, the movie.
Okay.
I was like, this was created by people who love theater.
Yes.
Like, it was like by theater kids for theater kids.
Yep.
Like that's how I feel about Tick Tick Boom, and that's how I feel about this Wicked movie. Like
Totally.
people who love it. There are so many wonderful, wonderful homages to The Wizard of Oz.
Yep.
It's like every scene you're like, what's in here? Like what's
Truly.
like what are we about to see? What's like the throwback that's about to happen?
Yes.
I'm so glad I saw it the first time sitting next to my gay friend, because we just hit each other the entire time.
Oh, yeah, that's
we
exactly.
hit each other, we grabbed each other, like,
Mhm.
like at one point I forget what happened. Something happened and he just goes, God, I love being gay. You know, and I was like, oh, she did the Megan Hilty opt up and they're doing this.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know, I feel like it's a tricky start for Glinda, I think, because
Yeah.
you're starting in one place. I mean, I think it's trickier on stage because you're having to do it in real time. You're starting in one place, and then after the first scene, you get to start at the beginning of the show. I don't know if I'm obsessed with her. No one mourns the wicked.
I liked it. I definitely liked it. I think acting wise, I think it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think she really. I mean, I think she's just so talented in general.
Yeah.
But I thought it was also just really nice that like immediately we're seeing Ariana flex this other muscle that we haven't seen her do.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any feelings about Dressgate?
What's Dressgate?
Her coming down in a pink dress rather than the blue dress.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. I guess what I questioned, I guess that they're the two leads of the film, so I get it. But visually, I guess, like when we're at Shiz, I was kind of like, all right. It's like just like I mean, I know everything's unbelievable, but I'm like, every single other student that they're in school with is wearing a certain uniform, and just these two girls aren't. So I guess I questioned that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I with the very beginning, I was like, honestly, like pink looks so phenomenal on her too. Whereas like I'm so fine with this, and like this is clearly the brand that she
Like,
has.
pink
This is
looks
what we're
great.
establishing.
It's a beautiful homage to the original.
Goes good with green.
You know, I also like, similar to like the whole poster thing, I was like, you don't have to recreate the stage musical. Like if I want to see Glinda come down in like the sparkly blue bubble dress, I'll go see it on Broadway.
Okay.
If someone gives me money to go see it on Broadway.
Yeah.
So no, I didn't mind that.
Heard.
I
Agreed.
You know, when they wheeled out that giant witch they burned, I literally thought, I was like, I can't wait for March of the Witch Hunters.
Oh my god.
I was like, that is gonna be a chilling
Yeah.
scene. Like chilling.
That was just crazy too, because I was like, what a crazy source of imagery that like Ariana has to face with her own eyes. Like she has to watch her best friend get burned
Yeah.
by all of these people who loathe and hate her because of all of the propaganda that she herself has been promoting.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's heavy. It's crazy. It's deep. It's what a way to start.
I think she's wonderful.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think her comedic acting hits harder than her dramatic acting.
Yeah.
So like right when like the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, I don't know how she's gonna be.
Yep.
And the second we got to like young Glinda at Shiz, I was like, oh, she's phenomenal. But like from the first scene, I kind of was like, it's like, oh, I don't know if she's perfect for this.
I think I had similar feelings, but I think mine remedied. I think both of them in general just like brought such a level of nuance to two young schoolgirls that was just very out of left field for a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people were expecting that because we know this as such like an animated thing, you know, and like it has to be on a stage, of course, but like I think we saw such a level of nuance that was almost a little bit jarring, and until you like really sit in it and you're like, whoa, this is real.
Yeah. And I heard Cynthia talk about this, how she was like, and I think this is a departure for how the direction is of Broadway, where she was like, yeah, like this girl has been green for the past 20 years of her life. She's not angry about it. Like she's matter of fact. And I think that really, you know, she's not like spending her time being upset and angry that she was born this way because that's how she was born.
Totally.
And I think you can like really see that in her portrayal, where it's like not as like screamy and heightened as I think Elphaba's are directed in the stage version. Something that I think that Cynthia owns the song "The Wizard and I."
Oh,
I actually think that is like the highlight of the movie for me. I think her "Wizard and I" is. Here's the thing about Cynthia.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Here's how I feel about Cynthia.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's a brilliant actor.
Yes.
She's a brilliant singer. I think she is the best song interpreter of her generation. Like, she's so good in a scene. Yes. Her acting through a song is, I can't think of someone who can top her doing that.
Yeah.
Like, there is just something that is so masterful of her. Like, when she is like performing a song, like she is just a vessel in a way that I like can't even come up with a comparable person who does that.
For sure.
It is just so incredible. And the second that like that.
1 second.
What?
Hello? Hey, for legal purposes, I have to tell you, you are on the podcast. Right this very second.
Hi, podcast people.
We're talking about the Wicked movie right now.
Oh, that was a good one.
There's 2 parts. I thought there was only 1.
Yes. I will call you back later.
All right. Thank you. Bye. Have a good night.
Bye. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Yeah, my dad didn't know it was 2 parts, so he was sitting there for the whole 2.5 hours, and then it ended the way it did. And he's seen the stage show, and he was like, "What?"
Like, did you really think there was gonna be like 3 more hours? Of this
We were
movie?
like, you know how it ends. Like, there was still a lot more to go. Yeah.
Anywho, that key change when she's in the field.
Oh, wait. We gotta get to there.
What? We can't go scene by scene. How long do you think this episode is gonna be?
Well, I just want to go like. So we start with Munchkinland, and then let's like just the feeling, like we get her backstory, which I think was done so nicely and tastefully. I loved that. Like, this is like such a minor thing to love, but I loved all of like the nursemaids being animals.
Yeah.
I thought that was such a fun thing that will enhance kind of that impact. I thought our young Elphaba was lovely. I thought she was very good. And I watch a lot of like Star Wars and Marvel, and we're in an era right now of bad child actors. So it was very refreshing to see that. Also, young Nessa.
Well, yeah.
With that tiny, tiny voice.
She's become a little icon.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
And then we go right into Shiz. We lay eyes on Shiz. And that was like, it wasn't anything like I had imagined necessarily, but it was immediately something that I was like, this is exactly right. I love this. This is beautiful. This is stunning. Like, it was like a Hogwarts moment for me. You know, like when you first finally see
it evokes
the castle for the first time, and you're like, whoa, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
Yeah. Our king, Ethan Slater.
Yeah.
They Can Never Make Me Hate You. I thought he was delicious.
He was awesome.
I thought he was delicious. I really think they gave Bach a lot.
Yeah.
With like a little, okay, Bach's one of those parts where you're like, oh, Bach, it's a big part.
For sure.
Not a big part. Like, we're talking like stage time line wise in the musical. It's not a big part. And it's not a huge part in the movie either, but I just think they gave him a little bit more to chew on.
We saw more perspective from him that you don't necessarily get to see.
Yeah, we saw more personality from him.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw it, people did groan when the camera was on him.
Heard.
But I'm sorry, they can never make me hate you. Okay?
Understood.
Because I think all actors are entitled to their personal lives, and it's none of our business because we don't know them. Whatever.
Of course.
I will say, I get the choice. I get the artistic choice. But I do think it is a choice to have a giant bust of Jeff Goldblum's head on the side of a building.
Crazy.
It'd be funny with anyone, but there's something particularly memeable about Jeff Goldblum's face.
Yeah.
So I can't help but giggle. I was like, no, they didn't.
Yeah.
Just giant Jeff.
I mean,
while she's singing in wonder.
Just like,
I was like, okay.
He really doesn't have to act that hard. So it's kind of just a reflection on society that we do put this man on such a pedestal for being absolutely crazy.
And what I also have to say, I was not mad about the direction they took with Madame Morrible.
In terms of,
well, I think in the stage musical, it is a camp role.
Heard.
And in this musical, in the movie, they cast Michelle Yeoh, and she plays a very different Madame Morrible.
It's more sinister.
It's more sinister. It's very understated.
Yes.
It's not big.
No.
She's not playing a big part. I wish they just let her speak. Why did they make her sing? She's not a singer. That part is the most speaky role in the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
Let her speak it. What? She could act through those lines just fine, speaking it, and then Elphaba starts to sing. That's my 2 cents on the Madame Morrible thing. She doesn't have to sing it. But I
love that.
I enjoyed her Madame Morrible quite a bit. I think she took a really interesting direction with the role, and I think that. I'm going to jump ahead a lot, but we can go back. There is nothing cuntier than when she turned around in the Emerald City with the monkeys. I was like, chills.
Yeah.
With the monkeys all flying behind her. And I was like, if I was you, that would be my profile picture. Michelle, I think she's married, but put it on your Hinge, girl.
Of course.
Iconic.
Yeah. No, I loved it. I do like the addition of Keala Settle to kind of take away a little bit of to kind of take some of the camp off of that role and allow
it kind of makes sense that they're different characters now.
Allows Morrible to cook a little more.
I also did think it was really funny. I'm like, you cast Keala Settle in the big movie musical adaptation of Wicked.
Yeah,
she speaks 5 lines, no singing.
Yeah,
she's one of the greatest vocalists.
She's gonna have a power ballad in part 2.
She probably will be Madame Morrible at some point when she wants just a paycheck for retirement. And they're like, no singing.
No.
Shh.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I also. It's just you can do different things in film that you can't do on stage. Course. And so I think they developed their relationship so much, both the aspects where they hate each other and the aspects where they're friends. I was like, oh, I have a full scope of these two people and their relationship.
Yeah.
Whereas in the stage musical, it is kind of
it's a quick shift.
They meet, they hate each other, they love each other, they're best friends.
Yeah.
Boom, we're done. So it is really satisfying that we got more time with the film. And I just Loathing, I thought was shot.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, this is how you do this. This is how this number should be. And
also the addition of Bowen and our other queen, whose name I don't remember, or their character names. I don't know if you know.
Shen and
Fanny.
Shen
and Fanny. Yes,
but it's spelled Pfanne.
Of course it is.
And you know who originated Fanny in the OG workshops?
Sutton Foster. Yeah. I think the addition of them also allowed for their relationship to be a little bit more secular at first. It was Glinda had her people, she had her squad, she had her mean girls, and
because they're in the musical, but I think they're not really characters in
exactly.
The musical. So I enjoyed them. I was like, wow, you really just let Bowen. I want to know which one of Bowen Yang's lines were written in the script.
Oh my god, yeah.
Or if they were all
very few, probably.
He was like, go to town.
Yeah.
I also think that nobody in the God's Green universe could play Fiyero besides Jonathan Bailey.
Yeah.
There is not a single one in the world.
After seeing what we saw, yeah, no way.
No one in the world. I think he's perfect.
Yeah.
I think he's perfect.
He was great. He was phenomenal. He just, the smolder, like we knew he was the sensual being that he is from Bridgerton for sure, but like the sheer level of airheaded smolder was just incredible.
Yeah. The scene between him and Ariana right before Dancing the
Oh
Light,
my God.
I was like, you guys understand exactly how to do this material.
Yeah.
Like this scene, I'm like, you guys get it more than anyone else.
Yep.
It was just so good.
Mm-hmm.
They were feasting off of it. He's so attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Dancing Through Life was wonderful with that set and those dancers.
Yeah. I also like, this feels like a weird thing to say, but I also do think their little initial moments also like did make Glinda seem more intelligent in a nice way. You know, like she like it was granted it was like schemy and icky a little bit, but it was like, oh no, she is like socially aware.
Well, I think they made her meaner.
Yeah, I would agree for sure.
Because I think in the musical she's a little bit more airheaded and just like self-absorbed.
Totally.
And so some of the meanness is a byproduct of that.
Yeah.
This one she feels a lot more calculated.
I agree. Which is neat.
Which is cool. It's a cool layer because I think it gives her a bigger arc.
100%. And then also back to Wizard and I. This is like, I know they kind of do it on stage, but like when they did that stuff with like the colored lenses on the ceiling and that little, you know.
Oh, yeah.
When she and like, that was brilliant. Like that happened. And like my little pea brain was like, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
And you know what she did at the end of The Wizard and I? I have to say also, after seeing this movie, I am like a middle schooler with Wicked again. I have been rewatching all of my favorite bootlegs over and over again. She did, I mean, this is probably not intentional. She's probably doing it herself. She did Lindsay Mendez's ending of The Wizard and I. Have you ever heard Lindsay Mendez's ending of Wizard and I?
I have, but not enough to clock that.
Like,
that is
Lindsay does a very specific ending that like not a lot, like I've never heard another Elphaba do, and it's always been my favorite ending. And Cynthia does her own version of like that same kind of progression of notes, and I was spent after The Wizard and I was like, oh,
it was beautiful. It was magical. It was crazy. Also, like the Wheatfield thing, I was like, at first I was like, oh, this is weird, but I didn't even care. Like 2 seconds after she was like, just scenery wise, I was like, oh, this is kind of random. But
yeah, but I think it's also a wonderful juxtaposition.
Oh my God.
Like,
yeah.
You get the chills when she's like a celebration throughout Oz and you're seeing a still of No One Mourns the Wicked. You're like, oh my God, you don't even know what's about to happen. Yeah. And then the second that she leaves the shiz bubble and goes to sing the key change, that's the drought. Like that's the actual reality of like The Wizard and I is like barren wasteland because that's what he does, and she doesn't even realize it. So she's full of wonder, but around her you see like the actuality of like what that actually is.
Wow. That's deep.
Did I just blow your mind?
Yeah, that was crazy.
And I'm not gonna take credit for this because I listened to Cynthia say it on a podcast. Through The Wizard and I, through the whole song from start to finish, she is on an upward incline.
That's crazy.
So through the whole song, she is running upstairs, going up a hill, and it ends with her running through this like this hill on the wheat field, and then right before the end, she's about to jump, and then she doesn't. And then, you know, obviously at the end, she does do the jump.
Yeah.
And I heard her say that, and I was like,
crazy.
Blew my freaking mind.
Wow.
And it's just brilliant.
Yeah.
So good. I was this ballroom, right?
Oh my God. Well, also...
It is also...
Well, before we even get there, Dancing Through Life library.
Oh, that set is actually insane.
That was like...
I also want to... Jonathan Bailey, when he was filming Wicked, he was in the middle of filming Bridgerton, Fellow Travelers, and Wicked. So he worked... I think he said his longest stretch was 40 days without a break, and they were all filming in different countries.
That's crazy.
So he would film, fly to London, learn Wicked choreography, fly to Fellow Travelers... And every single project had a different accent. This man, he's incredible. His dancing is incredible. His singing is incredible. And it's funny, I saw it with my siblings the second time I saw it. And they're like, that's the guy from Bridgerton.
Yeah.
I was like, that's Jamie from the Company revival.
Oh my God. Do you watch Bridgerton?
I watched the first season.
Okay.
And then I never picked it up again.
Oh, well, the second season is his season.
That was my... Really?
Oh, yeah.
I have to watch Fellow Travelers. But no, Bridgerton was my like OG COVID
Heard.
pre-shot when
Yeah.
I watched when I was like bedridden.
But yeah.
It was wonderful.
That library with all the spinny things, I was like,
Oh
this
my
is
God.
definitely a gimmick specifically for the number, but I am not mad about it for 1 second.
Loved it. I also think it is funny. Like that is because it's like Dancing Through Life. Then you have the Oslos Ballroom
Yep.
sequence, which is part of the Dancing Through Life.
Of course.
And then you have the end. It is. I wonder how long. Like 20-minute sequence, 15-minute sequence.
Oh my God.
And then when they come back in with the last chorus, the person sitting next to me was like, "Oh my God, I forgot we're still in Dancing Through
Yeah.
Life." Like this song is just like not
Yeah.
ending.
And that Oz's Ballroom, how cool. I think overall, this movie did a really phenomenal job of like not only making things that are like respectful to source material and whatnot, but like making them places that you want to be in, you know?
Yeah.
Not just in like a cheesy way, but just in a very much like, this is just incredible.
Well,
and
also it's
magical.
like they changed it. So instead of Fierro saying like, "Where's the most swankified place in town?" He's like, "We're going to this place."
Yeah.
Because they were like, "There's no way he wouldn't know the most popular place in town."
Yeah.
And the reason that it's so scandalous is because that is one of the last places where animals and humans are interacting in the same club, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Michelle Yeoh comes and sasses everyone in the room.
Yeah.
Wonderful. No notes. Incredible. I love that line. I hope you prove me wrong. I doubt you will.
Oh my
Get
God.
ready for part 2.
Literally,
bitches.
I was like,
I love that line. I love that line, and I love its comeback at the end.
yeah.
Ozda's ballroom when they're dancing.
Beautiful, haunting, just.
I have to see the. I think it's a bit longer. That part is in the stage version.
Yes.
I think it's drawn out in the movie
for sure. And it's like one of those things where I'm like, that is objectively choreo. That is like, it's gawky, it's silly, but like, I am.
It's upsetting.
You're hooked. You are anxious. You are so sad and feeling for her in that moment. And
the secondhand anxiety is real. That's why it's my pee break.
I'm so proud of you, Danny.
After I sat through it twice, I was like, I'm so anxious at her being alone.
Yeah.
I have to get up and go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Wow.
And every cut to like Bo and Yang's face is incredible.
Oh my God. Yeah, that whole sequence was just
And you know what? I think a lot of people are giving shit to Nessa, and I don't appreciate it.
For that line?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
First of all, I didn't think it was like that standoutish.
No.
Second of all, people are so like, "Oh, Nessa's the worst." I'm like, yeah, she's the Wicked Witch of the East.
Yeah, Nessa's like Nessa sucks.
I don't think anyone has ever positioned Nessa as the hero of the story.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, she's such a bad character." I'm like, yeah, that's the point.
I think the fact that you are like so honed in on her, like in terms of like focus and perspective, that like it just really hits home where you're like, oh no,
really loved Nessa's arc in this movie. Actually,
I think it was great.
I think they set her up because I think the tricky part of Bach and Nessa is that their meet is in the second act.
Yes.
So like in the stage version, they're like props, and a lot of anything that they do in the first act is kind of just exposition for their second act characters. And I think they didn't beef the characters up too much, but they gave them like just enough more.
Yeah.
Where I really was like, oh, I can't wait to see what she does with that song in the second act.
Like when the two of them were like kind of hanging out with Glinda and Fierro as like a little breakfast club, I was like, oh, that's neat.
You know, a part of me was like a little unbelievable that Fierro and Glinda would be hanging out with Bach and Nessa.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I was like, this adds depth. It adds depth to both Cynthia, Elphaba.
Yeah.
Elphaba, we're just like interchanging like their names
course.
and the characters. It adds depth to that moment, but it also adds depth to those 4 characters as well.
Yeah.
Did you know that there was a cut scene? Did you hear about the cut scene?
No.
Where
Maybe.
I think it was like more of a montage of them all hanging out, including Elphaba. And I think they were like in the river or at a picnic or something. And the joke was that the boys would take their shirts off and Bach would be embarrassed about it. But little does everybody know, Ethan Slater is jacked as shit. So like Jonathan Bailey took his shirt off, and then like Ethan Slater took his shirt off, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, we can't have Bach be more jacked than Fierro."
Where is the footage?
Because like
where is the footage?
Ethan Slater is jacked.
Oh my god, yeah. Did you see SpongeBob?
No.
I did see SpongeBob, but there is a sequence in that where Ethan Slater.
Shirtless?
What?
He gets shirtless?
No, but he is essentially on a jungle gym the size of the stage, and he is just pulling himself all over with nothing but like upper body strength. And it was also belting his little tenor heart out, and it was crazy. It was one of those things where you're like, I think I just watched like an Olympic feat just now.
I think people love to dunk on SpongeBob because it's SpongeBob. I think SpongeBob is low-key one of the harder roles for a male.
Oh my God.
Like,
yeah.
I was called in for the tour like 2018. And I remember like I was like, oh, like that'll be fun. I'll like do this. I was like learning the sides or whatever, and I was like, why is this the hardest song I've ever had to sing in my life?
Yeah.
Like, it is so hard. I'm like, everyone's talking about waving through a window. Simple Sponge is the hardest fucking song
Crazy.
you will ever sing.
Crazy.
And Ethan Slater did it 8 times a week.
Yeah. Yeah. He was phenomenal.
So he's phenomenal.
Release the
Unfortunately,
cut,
we didn't
apparently.
get... They need to release the shirtless scene, and Jonathan Bailey has teased that he has a picture of him wearing nothing but his boots.
Okay, but like,
We need it.
was that from the film or was that from his own personal device?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay,
I don't
regardless.
know. I mean, probably from his own personal device. I thought there was a scene in the movie where he's just wearing the boots and nothing else. But I wouldn't be mad about it. I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, so we had all of the ballroom stuff.
You know what's no longer a skip song? Something bad.
Interesting. Say more.
Okay, so here's also another thing about the musical versus the movie. I think as much as we love the musical, I think it's a little wandery in terms of plot.
Yeah.
Where it's like the actual plot of Wicked is her fighting for animal rights.
Yeah.
That is her like need. Like that is what's driving her. Like that's why Defying Gravity happens.
Literally.
It's because of her fight for animal rights. I think in the stage musical it kind of gets lost in favor of like style.
Of course.
But I think they did a really good job in the movie of centering that story as Elphaba's driving force of her like, you know, obviously it starts with her wanting for the green skin or whatever. The green skin or whatever. But I think they did a really good job as maintaining the activism and the fight for animal rights as the driving force between a lot of her decisions.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I think that they deepened that plot. They brought in more animals and they made it like you know, like Dr. Dillerman feels like such a throwaway character in the stage version, I think, because he's such a small part. I liked what they did with it. I think this has become a pivotal plot song, whereas it doesn't feel like one in the stage version.
Well, I mean, also in the stage version, like you're only really seeing him as an animal, you know, and it's this weird anthropomorphic situation where you're like, I don't know what this is actually supposed to be.
A man wearing a head.
Yeah. But the fact that this was all CGI and there was so many, and we saw him like quite literally like leading an underground resistance.
Yeah.
You know?
Like
it was like, it
that's
made
why
the arrest scene
it's
look
not a skip song.
Yeah. That's fair. It definitely like it lended itself to the arrest of it all and like making that make sense more other than just animal cruelty.
Yeah.
You know?
And when she got on that bike and the little bear cub was in the back, I grabbed the person next to me. I was like, do you see it? Do you see the imagery? John Chu has my gay little heart in a vice grip.
Yeah.
That was just like chef's kiss. I was like, this is by someone who loves The Wizard of Oz. Yeah. And I love it.
100%. And that scene, gorgeous, beautiful, haunting.
Cynthia and Jonathan are just so gorgeous.
So good.
So hot. There's both of them. She's green and she's so hot. I'm like,
my God.
Cynthia, you're beautiful.
Yeah.
And then she sings that song, that damn song.
We knew it was going to hit, but
you
know, when you experience it.
And I like that it was just, you know, I think there's something extra special when someone like Cynthia, who's got the pipes to like slay the house down boots, just like sings a ballad. Oh yeah, you know, and it's like, you're not doing any like crazy vocal tricks, and you still have every single person in the palm of your hand like this because you are just like that good. Because she doesn't need the vocal tricks.
Totally.
You know, like she's got the voice and her acting is just like insane. So there's something really special about I'm Not That Girl because I'm like, like totally. you don't need the belt.
No.
And you still got every single one of us eating out of the palm of your green little hand.
We're on the hook.
We're on
we
the freaking
can't get
hook.
off.
And then what's next? One Short Day?
We skipped Popular.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible.
I
mean, also just like that bedroom that they created was just that lent itself so well. Same with What Is This Feeling? You know, like it lent itself so well to both of those numbers. And Ariana, 8.
You know what I noticed during Popular, and I felt this way about the whole show, and I felt this way about seeing Audra McDonald and Gypsy, which you should all go see, by the way. Particularly in Popular, I think it's difficult because it's difficult with comedy songs. Because once you know the punchline, you know the punchline.
Yeah.
And like Popular has been done for 30 years.
Yes.
I felt like I was listening to it for the first time.
Truly.
Like I was genuinely laughing.
Yeah.
And I was like, when was the last time you were like laughing during Popular?
Totally.
You know, like even if someone's like really good, I'm like, I know the joke. I know what's coming.
For sure.
But she just, and I think throughout the whole movie, and I appreciated it. I know some people, I've heard some people not really appreciate it. I think she towed the line of like really reinventing the wheel, but also I was like, I can tell you love Kristen Chenoweth for
oh my God.
you know, like there were times when I was like, yeah, like you're paying homage to Kristen Chenoweth, but I think for the most part, she was reinventing the wheel in a 100%. Really refreshing way.
Yeah. It was so good. The commitment to the craft and honoring the source material and making it your own was incredible. I think it also like we got to there was like so much physical comedy and performance that we hadn't seen yet from her that was like just awesome. Like I mean the chandelier was we saw it in the trailers, but like so good, so impressive. And then the dragging herself on the floor with that
part gets
all
me
of
every
that
time.
tool. I was like
every time.
Oh, so funny.
I saw an interview with Steven Schwartz and they were like, if you were gonna like put anything in the Broadway show that you did differently in the movie, what would it be? And he was like, I could totally see us putting the key change ending of Popular into the Broadway show.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah. And she was like, apparently he wrote it and she was like, didn't love it at first.
Yeah.
And she was like, I feel like you wrote like up and up and up because I'm Ariana Grande and I don't want that to be a thing in this movie. And he was like, no, I wrote it because I think it's a good ending, like not because you're Ariana Grande. So that would be an interesting.
He said, "Who's Ariana Grande?"
I know. He was like, "I'm Steven Schwartz." I think it'll be interesting to see the lasting impacts of the movie and choices in the movie and what kind of bleeds over
for sure
into the stage version.
Yeah,
or if anything does. You know, I wonder if we should like get a current member of the cast to be like has anyone been like, don't do what they're doing in the movie? You know, they're like remember this is Wicked and we're like doing the Broadway version, like don't. I don't know, I wonder if they like got notes like that. One Short Day Gorge. It was. You know what I wanted for One Short Day?
What?
It was a pipe dream and it didn't happen and it's okay. I would have loved if they got to like the Emerald City part and they're just surrounded by like the people in green or whatever.
Yeah.
I would love it if that was just all ghosts of Wicked past. Like,
oh my God.
We have Stephanie, Annalie Ashford, Shoshana Bean, like, you know, like they're all, Megan Hilty, they're all just like surrounding them. Doing
that
the, like,
would have been the most expensive shot in the film.
Are you kidding me? Those theater nobodies? Come on.
Oh my God.
Just kidding, you're my idols. No, I would have loved that.
As soon as they got there, though, I gotta say, like, as soon as they got there, I was like, okay, so where is Adina and Kristen gonna be? Because I knew it was coming. They're gonna be in this.
I go back and forth on whether I like it or not, the cameo.
I honestly, I think that was too much.
I think it was, you know, okay, the two cameos I thought were absolutely perfect. I thought Steven Schwartz's cameo was perfect.
But, like, why didn't he yell?
I'm not saying his delivery was the perfect
He wrote it.
But I'm like, yes. Like, we saw his face, he said a line, and that was the cameo. And we were all like, oh my God, that's Steven Schwartz.
Totally.
And it's like, if you got it, you got it. If you missed it, you missed it. I thought Winnie Holtzman, also perfect cameo. She wrote the book. She was one of the Aussians, like right before his line, she had a line.
Yeah.
And I was like, these are perfect cameos. I just felt like it was a little too hitting us over the head with them.
I wanted them to be there, but the moment that I was like, this is obviously it, was when they were in the salon.
They could have been like getting their hair done.
I was like,
together
they're going to be sitting next to each other in a chair at the salon with like newspapers, and then they're going to put them down or whatnot. I was like, that something quick and scrumptious.
Give them like a quick a quick recognizable moment,
Yeah.
have them say like some kind of a line or sing a little bit. It just felt a little too.
I didn't even want them to sing, honestly. If they had given
It felt a
just
little
a quick
too,
line.
I had fun.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
Oh my
like,
God, yeah.
I feel like it just takes you out of the movie.
A little bit.
And they had Adina sing the riff, and I was like,
That was a lot.
did you need to sing the riff?
Yeah.
What I appreciated, I was like, I bet this is like such a special moment for these four.
Oh
so
my
I
God,
kind of
yeah.
liked it. I was like, okay, it's special.
I was happy
seeing
that
them
they got to
all
do it. Yeah.
together, but I didn't need it.
I didn't need it the way it was done.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
definitely needed them there, just not, I don't think, and that.
Yeah. And I would have loved all Wicked alumni in that scene, just like surrounding them. And I was like, that would have been incredible.
And also, I think because it was happening the way it did make it harder to hear like the story that they were actually telling about like the power shifts in magic and all of that, and the animals and Oz coming in and whatnot. I was like, oh, this actually seems like it's important plot information that maybe we should take note of. But I'm too excited.
Yeah.
I'm too overstimulated.
I also thought they could have cut Jeff's soft shoe moment behind the curtain.
What a choice.
I was like, we're approaching 3 hours and you kept this in.
The only way I would have really been like, oh, this is great, is if I knew for sure that it was him doing it.
I think it probably was. I would be shocked if it wasn't.
I really want it to be him.
I bet you it was.
I really want it to be him, but like,
it was.
I don't know.
I bet
because the first number wasn't him. He was not.
I think it was.
It wasn't.
How do you know?
Because I saw. Of course, you know that the body double dancer boy was,
it?
Ooh, it was just some guy. Yeah, I just saw the thing shared on Instagram. He was like, I was the Oz dancer double, yada yada yada.
I think they made him a little more evil in the movie.
I mean,
in the it's been a while since I've seen the musical, so I might be wrong about this. But I feel like in the musical, he's kind of viewed as a little bit more bumbling, and like he's evil by proxy of just like. He seems more cunning. Like Jeff seems like a more cunning wizard.
I don't know if that's necessarily a choice or the fact that Jeff Goldblum is just so aloof that it makes the stakes of all of the horrible things that he's doing even higher. You know, it's like one thing if like this bumbling guy is like trying to make these decisions and things are going wrong, but if this man is affecting all of these lives out of the sheer respect that he just doesn't really know what's going on, he's just kind of there doing his thing like that.
Well, because then there's he has that mask drop moment. I think when she's like, you have no power. And he was like, of course I have no power.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, you're like an evil fucker. Like, holy shit. We are running out of time.
Okay.
That being said, we already discussed Michelle Yeoh and the monkey moment. Oh my God.
Incredible. But also, I felt once again so anxious during all the monkey transformation. I was like, just no.
Well, also, I just loved it was real, and they made the monkeys like dangerous. I was like, you're not just like fun flying monkeys. Like, there's like danger here. And the first time I saw it, I had mixed feelings about the balloon section, and I was like, okay, you're adding another sequence to Defying Gravity. Okay, I see what you're doing. The second time I saw it, I was like, this is brilliant, and I love this choice because we are seeing that on impulse, Glinda's going with her.
Yeah.
Glinda's impulse is to go with her. And if they had gotten away, they would be together.
Yeah.
And then it was when they were forced to think for a second and make an active choice, that's when she can't do it.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was like, I like this moment.
For sure.
And I think it shows us a lot about these characters.
I totally agree.
And it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
Cynthia singing Defying Gravity, cultural reset.
Of course.
I am of the camp that they did cut some of the wind out of the sails of that song.
Agreed.
And I do feel like once that girl jumps out of that window, let her freaking belt.
Yeah.
Let her just like, so if you care to find me to the end, I think should be like one.
Totally.
Like one musical phrase that we hear from start to finish. I don't love the unlimited part.
I did like the fall a little bit. I don't think it needed to be as long, and I don't think we needed the reflection, but I did like that immediately. Like, this is not something that she's amazing at. You know, like I think we kind of see her unlock the Grimoire, and then all of a sudden she is the Warlock Supreme or whatever.
When I saw it with my friends, the movie ended. We were like still sitting in our seats, and we were like chatting about it. And I was like, I keep going back and forth on whether like if I like the fall or if I think it just like takes too much time. And then my friend leaned over from 3 seats away, tears streaming down her face, and she goes, "It's the heartbeat of the beast."
I do like it. I am a fan.
I think I like it. I guess my question is like, I know it so well.
Yeah.
And so I am like ready. I'm like, jump out of the window, sing.
I think
and
after
so I
that,
think maybe if I didn't know it so well, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
like that. And I was like sitting on the edge of my seat the whole time because I was like waiting for that part. And then like I felt just like a little blue bulb when she fell.
Yep.
And then she did it, and I was like, yes. And then they get to this like slower, unlimited part, and I was like, no.
I think after she falls is when we needed to go straight through to the end.
Yeah,
you know?
we need to go straight to the end.
Right?
And I think
it's me, you know?
it is so like I love the vignettes of like seeing like Fiyero going away, seeing like Nessa becoming evil.
Yeah.
Like we saw that moment.
Oh yeah.
We saw that like anger, and I was like, oh, we are setting it up so well. We see like Jeff the wizard, wizard Jeff,
interchangeable.
like we see him realizing what he's done to Elphaba, like what he's dealing with now, and like all the lights blowing out, and oh my god, the moment when Michelle Yeoh like shoos the guards away and she like embraces Glinda, and I was like, oh, this is chilling. Oh my god. And then I'm sorry, I love the battle cry.
Oh yeah.
I think it's so good. I wish that we didn't know it. I wish that they had not released it until the movie. I don't know why they did. Like that should have been the like.
That's true.
That is like the moment.
That should have been the biggest surprise of the film.
Why didn't you sit on that? Like, why didn't you sit on that?
They shouldn't have. They should have sat on it so people like you could be sitting there the whole time going, "Ooh, I wonder which diva's crying she's gonna do." Ooh.
She did Cynthia's. Yep. That's who she did.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Gorgeous, brilliant. I loved how long the cape was. I was so I was just so thrilled with that too. Where
it was insane.
Oh, it was so big, and I was like, "Yeah, that's Broadway."
Yeah. And you know what's funny? There is that moment where like she puts the cape on her, and then she like swings it around. I was like, okay, this is like a weird moment.
Yeah.
But that moment is in the Broadway show.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize that. I was watching a bootleg of Defying Gravity, and they have the moment where she like stands up with the cape, and I was like, oh, this is just canon.
Yeah. That's wicked. Can't wait for part 2. I'm ready. I need it.
Yeah.
I'm happy that we only have to wait 1 year. That feels like a treat.
I can't wait for Cynthia's No Good Deed. Like, none of us are ready.
Like,
none of us are ready for it.
As long as you're mine, Danny, the planet's going to explode.
It's like, green my jeans, why don't I?
The sheer amount of energy that is going to be expelled from everyone's body in that moment.
Well, here's the thing. That's like a sex scene.
Yeah.
Do we think they're going to be like in bed? I can't handle Cynthia and Jonathan in bed together. That's just going to whoosh. No. Everyone bring a change of pants.
I don't know.
Bring
Doesn't
2.
it happen outside though? Aren't they like?
No, they're in the castle, right?
Oh, okay.
Or no. I think they are in the forest.
I thought they were like
they're in the
meeting
forest.
up in secret.
Yeah, because it's right before the cat fight scene.
Yeah.
Oh, we're eating good too. But I wonder what they're going to do. Because the second act of Wicked is a little bit of a clusterfuck. The second act of the stage version is a clusterfuck. And that is where we kind of lose the plot.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's like a time jump between the first act and the second act. And I heard someone talking about this, and I was like, I've never thought about it, but now that you say this, I'll never stop thinking about it. They're like, so there's a time jump of several years between the first and the second. What has Elphaba been doing that whole time?
I'm sure we're going to see.
Besides just like being in hiding.
I'm sure we're going to see.
And being a menace.
Yeah.
Like, what has she been doing? So I hope that they continue with the main arc of the activism.
Yes.
And that we kind of get to see what she is doing.
I'm sure she's like going around like freeing animals and like busting
down doors.
Yeah, prisons and whatnot. And like,
yeah.
I'm sure they're going to show us. I'm sure we know for sure we're getting 2 new songs.
Yeah.
In Act 2, which I'm like nervous about, but
I'm nervous about it.
Overall,
but I don't beef up the second act a little bit.
I don't have any fears, honestly.
I think there's probably going to be a Glinda song and an Elphaba song.
I think based on everything that we saw in the first part, I have no fears that they will do the right thing. Yeah. I feel safe.
I would follow John Chu off a cliff if he told me to.
Yeah.
That man,
he wouldn't even have to tell me, honestly. He could just like kind of nudge in that direction.
I remember thinking this during the One Short Day where they're all like dancing in the streets. And I'm like, I mean, obviously I don't work in film, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can't even comprehend how you would stage this and film this.
Yeah.
Like there's so many moving parts and so many people doing choreography on random things. Like I just like it takes I don't know how someone has the mind to like see that and enact it and then film it. It's insane.
Incredible.
Insane.
Okay. That's wicked.
It was a great movie.
That was a great movie.
Oh.
If you have not seen it and you're at this part of the episode, that's wild, but also go see it. Also, if you are here, I mean, you've seen it. If you are at this part, if you've made it this long, you have seen it.
If you listen to this podcast, you've seen it.
Go see it again. Go see it 3 more times. If you live in New York, AMC A-list, take advantage of that once a week, please.
We are not ready for No Good Deed, y'all.
No.
Do you think she's gonna do like the Eden?
I think she's gonna surprise us.
You think she's gonna like go up on Fierro?
Oh my god, yeah.
I hope she does.
But yeah, okay. We could literally talk about this for hours.
Everybody calm down.
Yeah. Folks, if you love this and you can't get enough, you know what?
Can I ask another question about Wicked? Why isn't Elphaba a munchkin?
I think she is. I think
she's just a tall munchkin?
Is she? She's not even that tall.
Well, I guess Cynthia's pretty short.
I think, especially the way they did it in the movie, that everyone was roughly the same height regardless. You know, like Munchkin didn't seem so much.
That's why like everyone makes jokes about like Bach being a tall munchkin or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, Cynthia's father is the mayor. Elphaba's father is the mayor of Munchkinland.
I guess Elphaba is also,
also a munchkin.
Cynthia is also just a very short woman.
But canonically, Elphabas are tall.
That's true.
She's a short Elphaba.
That's true.
I don't know. Just food for thought.
For sure. Anywho, folks, if you just can't get enough of this content, well, guess what? There's more. And you know where that more is? It's over on the Patreon. Folks, that is patreon.com/BA to Broadway. Your normal reminder, we are not gatekeeping any vital information or lessons on there. That is just for fun, silly bonus content. So go check it out. As always, you can find us on most social media platforms at BA2Broadway. Danny, this is not your normal outro. You get the full thing. Danny, where can folks find you if you want to be found?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you so much for asking. Folks can find me at @DSaules.
Amazing. And you have a website too, right?
Yeah, at DanielSaulle.com.
Bam. Love it. Danny, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be back.
You have a really nice bedroom. I've never been here before.
Thank you.
This is a nice setup. I was surprised.
I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And until next time, folks. Bye. From BA to Broadway is created, produced, and edited by Brennan Stefanik, music by Dylan Kaufman, and cover art by Jordan Vongsithi.